Hi everyone, I'm going to go over how to add a navigation bar to your homepage and also duplicating your index page to multiple pages in Dreamweaver. So I've changed the name of my folder to reflect the round 3. Basically, I added my last name and I've changed the title of the folder from round 2 to round 3, which means that when I go to my file panel, I'm no longer able to see the content of my folder. So the first thing that you need to do is to manage your site and to point to the folder that you just renamed. So this is the most important part of this process, because if you don't do this part correctly, you're not going to be able to see your file and all your links will break. So now I'm able to see all my files in the file panel. I'm going to load index.html, and so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to determine where I want to put my navigation, and I want to put it above the carousel, in the body tag, right above the carousel inside the container folder. So you want to choose insert and you want to go down, and you can see there are a bunch of different options here, but for the purpose of this tutorial we're going to choose navigation nav tabs. And you see that I can see 4 tabs here. One is a disabled tab, which we'll discuss later. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about this. First, I'm going to add a code for myself of navigation. And also going to be closing. Okay, and then as you could see, these navigations are based on unordered and ordered lists. So the UL stands for unordered list and LI stands for just a regular list. And each of these list items reflect a navigation button on your page. So there would be like different pages on your site, and you can see each of these LI tags, they have an opening and they have a closing LI. So I'm gonna actually, and then of course each of the entire thing is embedded inside a UL tab. So if you want to modify the entire nav, like move it to the center or whatever, you're gonna address this class in your CSS. And if you want to change the individual items, or maybe add or delete different buttons on your page, you want to customize this LI. And as you could see, you can just sort of see this. When I click on it, it just jumps to the different settings. So first, I'm going to actually go back to the code. You want to change these tab 1, the white text, because that's what the viewer sees, to reflect the pages on your site. So I'm going to just call this home. Maybe the second one can be about. Third one could be gallery. And I don't really want to have this LI list that is disabled. So I'm going to go ahead and just highlight this entire line and delete it. However, I know that I need to add one more page. So you definitely don't want to add, you want to add the page by copying and pasting the second or third line. You never want to do the first line because it's has an active link associated with it. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to just paste this here, and I'm going to call this contact. So that is how easy it is when you're dealing with the code to add different pages on your site. And if I go to the split, you can see that the titles of my page are reflective of what I just put in here in the code. Now we need to do a couple of more things. These href tags reference a link. So whenever you see this and you see this quote, that means that this can be a link. And this hashtag is kind of a fake link. So, and the way that works, if I go here, you can see when I hover over the link, it shows me like a little finger, which means it's telling me there's a link, but it's actually in reality it doesn't do anything. It doesn't know where to jump. So that's why it's called a fake link. So we need to change these to reflect the pages on my site. So I know the very first page on my website is going to be index.html. So I want to put that in here, all lowercase. And even though we don't have these other pages, I'm going to actually put the code in there, and then I'm going to duplicate this page so that I don't have to do this process over and over again. So this particular website, I've asked you to create 4 pages, and these are 4 pages. So the about page is going to simply be about.html. Gallery page should be gallery.html. Oops. And everything should be lowercase. And contact is going to be contact.html. So I'm going to save this page, and now I'm going to save this index.html 4 times. Actually 3 times, because I already have the index. So I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to make sure I'm in the right folder, and this time I'm going to just simply put it like about. And then I'm going to go to File, Save As, and this time I'm going to do Gallery. And next I'm going to do Contact. And I'm going to save this page, open up my folder, and sure enough, I have the 4 pages in there. And even though they're all going to look the same because I basically copied and pasted the code, but I'm going to go ahead and open this page up, and we're going to do a couple of other things here. And this time I'm going to open up the about page, and I need to change the active state, because so if I go here, you can see the active state still sets to home, but I'm on the about page, which means the active state should be on the about. That means that you're going to tell the viewer that you're on the about page and not the home page. So what we are going to do, I'm simply going to reverse this. So where it says active, I'm going to put about. Oops. I'm going to change this to about. And where it says about, I'm going to change this to index, and change this to index. Oops, sorry, home. And now I'm simply going to copy this, because home is going to be the first button. Command exit, move it here. So I simply reversed the active state. So now if I go to live view, you can see the about is now highlighted. So you want to do this process for every one of your pages. Maybe I'll do one more, and then you can do the same for the other 2 pages. So again, I'm going to be on the code. Simply put, this one was the gallery. and that's the third button. And simply move this to the top and move the gallery, that was the third button. So you want to keep the order. So the navigation should be in the same exact spot. So again, if I do this, you'll see that the gallery is highlighted. And maybe we'll do the last one as well. And of course you can, that's one way of doing this process. Another way is simply just changing, adding the active class link to the third option. So this one I'm going to just do home. And then that. And I know if I don't change the position, you'll see that's how it's going to look, which is not correct, right? So we're going to fix that. And like I said, you can either do it this way or you can just change the code. If you're going to be doing it right on the code, please make sure not to delete any of the special characters by mistake. So I'm going to command exit, move this down, and then move this up. And now you'll see that this is in the right order. So I'm going to save my file. And now I want you to open up each of the pages, and just so for to know, just to make sure that your the links are working, I'm gonna just change the contact, and now I'm going to save this. I'm going to go to the gallery. Save it, and I'm going to open the about page. And like I said, then you can just go ahead and change the titles. And I'm going to save this, and now I'm going to go back to my index. And when I preview this, you'll see that I jump to the about, I jump to the gallery, and I jump to the contact page. So all the links are working on every single page, and the correct state of the buttons is visible. And so the last thing that I want you to do is to modify the color of your nav. And so what we're gonna do, and I've already created a PDF file that I'm gonna share with you as to what class tags you need to look for to change the colors. So you can see, like here, for example, it would be the hover tab. When you roll over the color, you would want to look for that particular tagline. And this one would be the nav link. It's right there. And then the third one would be the active link, which is, you can just change it around. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Make sure you're on the split view. So when you hover, it actually tells you like what class you need to look for, which is like the active link here, for example. And if I go to my CSS designer and if I click on current, it'll basically would pop up. So that's the color, like active link. And again, you want to choose these colors based on your mood board colors. So maybe for this one I just choose a brown color, and you could see the color is reflected right here. If I make it a little lighter, you can kind of see it a little better. There you go. And then maybe the blue color is the nav link, and you want to make sure you're on your text color. So this would be the hover. So there's a couple of them, so you want to just kind of go over these and sort of figure out what would, based on your color palette, what would be the best color choice. I mean, I'm just going to select some so that you can kind of see the different colors here. So actually, let me go back here. It's the active link. Actually, it was this one, A. I can see that it just changed, and I'm gonna maybe make it a little brighter so you can see the difference. So again, I want you to just modify these based on your mood board. And the last thing that I'm going to ask you to work on is open up the contact page, and based on the information that you have from the website that you researched, delete this information and embed a map. Also delete, so you're going to delete a few things. First, we want to delete this carousel altogether, the entire carousel on the contact page. So I'm going to go and find the opening of my carousel, which is right here. I'm going to do gray to the final closing carousel, and I'm going to simply delete that. Now I want to insert just a static picture, so I'm going to go to insert. I'm going to find an image, the responsive image. Right here, and I'm simply going to click on the source and go to my root folder, which is on my desktop, and just upload one of the pictures, or you just add like a new one. There we go. And I can it's fluid, so I can resize it if I choose to, and I can modify it so it's not the radius is set to 0, but you can make those changes later on if you wish. For the purpose of what we're doing, you don't need to do any of that. And the only thing that I want you to do is to go to the final thing that I want you to go to Google Map, copy the HTML code for embedding the map, and simply after the picture, maybe before, instead of this animal rescue, maybe just get rid of this text and simply paste the map in there. And I'm going to save this. So I have my picture, I have my map, and you can delete any of these other contents. And if I go back and forth, you can see that I jumped through the different pages. So in this video, basically you are going to learn how to add a navigation using Bootstrap insert option. Then you want to make sure you're in insert on Bootstrap, and then you want to customize your navigation to reflect the active state of your button and also the selected state of your button, which means that you want to indicate to the viewer whatever page they're on, which should reflect with a different color. And then you want to customize your nav to again reflect your mood board color palette. Then you want to duplicate your pages, and also change the title of each of the pages to reflect whatever HTML page we're on. And on the contact page, you just want to add like a map and get rid of the slideshow. So that's all you need to do for this week. And if you have any issues, please upload your work to the discussion board troubleshooting tab. Send me an email and I'll be happy to help you out. And one last thing that I want to mention quickly, on the map, you'll see that it's set to 70% and 50%. However, if you want to make it smaller, you'll just reduce these numbers. Just make sure that it's proportionate. So if you're going to make this 60, you want to make the height 40. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have a good rest of your day.